Welcome to the Economic Development Commission Committee 101. This is an overview of the code related to the Economic Development Commission responsibilities. You can read this code in your packet or on the city's website. The City Council is the legislative and policy-making body of the city, and unless governed by state mandate, boards are appointed by the council's authority and only have the functions delegated by the council, which is what is your city code. You cannot expend funds or obligate the city for payment without prior approval, and that prior approval is through the budget process. You have a council liaison, and you prepare an annual work plan, which is submitted to the council in April along with your budget. You will also report quarterly to the council, and in April you will select a chair and vice chair. Just some general expectations. Read the packet prior to the meeting, arrive to the meetings on time. If you'll be absent, notify your staff support person, and if you no longer have capacity for the board, resign and allow someone else to serve. This is our general suggested timeline. In January, start with your project planning for the next year and discuss any of your projects you want to put on your next fiscal year, which starts July 1st through June 31st. And then in February, you'll use that work plan you developed in January to create a budget. In March, you'll review and approve your budget and work plan. You'll also review any new applicants for your board and make a recommendation to council. In April, you will present your project plan and your budget to the City Council, and you'll also receive this training. You'll also have to select your chair and vice chair or co-chairs if you so choose. In November or December, it's a great idea to do a year-end review. It's helpful to look at what programs and events were successful and what things you will need to update. In April, you'll select a chair and vice chair or co-chairs. That's up to you. But the chair presides over the meetings and is responsible for communication with City Council and your staff person. They work with the staff prior to the meeting to determine the agenda. They work to keep the committee on track with your goals, and they run the meeting, keeping it on agenda and managing the interactions with the public. If the chair is absent, the vice chair will take on these roles. You have a committee staff person. They are responsible for managing the AV equipment, helping create and post the meeting packet and agenda, and they will create minutes or do background research. But any specific tasks for staff have to be assigned by their superior, and it's only available as we have budget and capacity. All committees and commissions are advisory boards and as such considered public bodies under Oregon law. So you must comply with open meeting laws, which includes providing notice for all meetings, meetings being open to the public, including a virtual option for attendance, and minutes being created for each meeting. A quorum is a majority of members. A meeting is defined anytime there is a quorum of members who deliberate on board issues. And this is true even in social settings or digital communications. So like on Facebook or via email, or if you all meet together at a local football game, you need to be careful that you are not deliberating on board issues. If you don't have a quorum for a scheduled meeting, you'll have to reschedule that meeting. You can't make decisions without a quorum. And if you have business that you want to decide, such as planning an event, you can set up a work group. But that work group cannot have a quorum of committee members, but it's a great way to draw in additional volunteers. All meetings, except for emergencies, should have at least 72-hour notice. Our meetings are broadcast via Zoom and recorded to be available for later viewing. Now be careful with your emails and other communications because I said that could constitute a public meeting. If you reply all on an email, now it's a public meeting. So be careful not to do that. Any writing in any form related to business of the board is considered a public meeting. This includes emails, text messages, and social media posts, even if it's on your personal device or your personal email. The committee has a committee email, and we prefer that you use that for any committee business. And social media posts on your personal accounts are only considered public records if they are regarding official business on the board, not your personal posts. Committee members are considered public officials and must act with Oregon's ethic laws, which prohibits you from gaining financially or preventing a financial loss as a result of your position. And this is not just you. This is you, your business, your family member, or a family member's business. You have to declare if there's a conflict of interest, and you may need to refrain from discussion or voting. Here's an example of a potential or an actual conflict. So a potential conflict is when an action or decision could be of financial benefit or prevent financial harm to you, your family, your business, or your family member's business. But it's not necessarily going to. In this example, you own property which may be impacted by a change in zoning regulations, but the property is not for sale and you're not looking to develop it. In that case, it's just a potential conflict, and you must announce it before any discussion, but you can still participate in the discussion, debate, and vote. However, if that same property is currently for sale, and by changing zoning regulations, it would increase the value of your property or allow for development, then it would have a financial benefit to you. And so at that point, you need to announce it publicly before discussion, and you cannot continue with any discussion, debate, or vote. You have to abstain. Now, don't forget, you are appointed to represent the public at large, so keep this in mind when having discussions with members. Each member brings an important point of view, and many points of view produce good policies. You will have in your packet the Code of Conduct. Please sign it and return it to your staff member. This is kind of like the things you learned in kindergarten, to be polite and be kind. If you have any questions about the Code of Conduct or anything else in this presentation, please feel free to reach out to me via email. Thank you.